Mjolinr is on a rampage across the 10 realms, leaving death and destruction in its wake, and it's up to Thor, the god of thunder, the king of Asgard, to save his kingdom from a deadly prophecy that's about to be unleashed. The God of Hammer story arc part 2 really hits the gas pedal on this issue, and I'm all for it. Now, I'll be honest, for a bit now, I've been feeling that this Donny Cates Thor story was starting to lose its steam. But once again, Donny Cates tells me to shut the fuck up and sit down, because Mofo does some crazy things in this. For starters, the fact that Mjolinr, Thor's trusty hammer, has gone insane is pretty awesome, leaving destruction everywhere it goes. It really gives me those Stephen King Christine vibes, like this device or tool that one uses every day has turned into a crazy killer. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. I also love the fact that with Mjolinr going completely nuts and the destruction that follows, it's causing many of the realms to blame Asgard. So there's definitely this sense of a ticking clock in the background, because if Thor's too slow to, fix the situation, you can bet your bottom dollar that there will definitely be a War of the Realms part 2. And when it comes to the book's characters, I love how Odin is basically putting Thor in his place. Despite that, he's the king now. Odin knows what's up, and to be fair, Thor sucks at being king. And so I love their dynamic and the tough love that both characters express to one another. Whereas you have Loki, who's sort of in the role of the referee, and he has to make sure that the two don't explode against each other. And it's kind of hilarious because, back in the day, Odin was the one that had to step in if things get too hot. Also, Mjolinr annihilating Broxton was pretty sad. And for anyone who's been a long-time Thor reader, Broxton carries a lot of history, so, I especially felt the sadness that came with it. In addition, Mjolinr transforming into some kind of electrical element lady, holy crap, that's dope and so metal. When it comes to the book's art, it's amazing. Nick Klein was destined to draw Thor comics. There's this feel of ancient grit and a flavor of mud that I really enjoy, and it gives the comic this fantastic sensation of Marvel Comics, but with fantasy that brings an Iron Maiden soundtrack. And let's be honest, how could anyone say no to Iron Maiden? Overall, Thor issue number 20 definitely brings the Thor run back on track with much added steam to its story, and I cannot wait for more to come. Thor issue number 20 gets a 9 out of 10. From the canyons of Mjolinr, from the burning shores of Alfheim to the ashes of Muspelheim, death occurs. However, this destruction and rage that trails throughout the entirety of the 10 realms isn't done by some evil supervillain or some jealous Asgardian. Rather, it's a hammer, one made of Uru metal. And yes, of course I am talking about the one and only Mjolinr. Thor's hammer has left a path of destruction, and most recently its path has reached the realm of Mjolinr, the realm of the dwarves, the place where weapons such as Mjolinr were forged. Now sadly, as we saw in the previous issue, Mjolinr had a bit of a killing spree, leaving several dead dwarves in its wake, including Thor's friend Eitri. And so it's here where Thor is trying to be as respectful as he can when it comes to burying the dwarves, and basically he holds it upon himself to give them a proper funeral. And here Thor promises that every single one of them will be avenged. But before getting a moment of silence, Odin shows up and is like, dude, stop being weak. A king cannot rule from his knees. Now obviously Odin is giving Thor some tough love, but Thor is not trying to have any of this. And so as the two start to bicker with Odin calling Thor a mama's boy, Thor gets angry and smacks Odin across the landscape. Now in response, Odin admits that, you know what, I've set you free for far too long. I failed you as a king, and I failed you as a father. I have not taught you the proper ways of how to be a king. But while Thor is freaking out and blaming Odin for all the secrets that he's kept, the two are immediately sent to the realm of Jotunheim, home to the Frost Giants. And there they are met by Loki. And yeah, he brought them here because he wanted to show them the field of dead Frost Giants as a result of Mjolinr going insane. Later, the three of them sit down at a table and begin to discuss the situation. Now everyone is basically blaming the god of hammers, the prophecy that tells of a god of immense power. And as both Odin and Thor continue to argue about, the myth's actuality, Loki tells them that the forces of the realms are beginning to take arms against Asgard, blaming Asgard to be the cause of the slaughter that's been happening. But Loki, he's been able to sort of calm everyone down from officially declaring war. but he doesn't know how long he can hold them back. Essentially, Loki tells them both that, you know what, I don't know what's going on between you guys, but stop. And just get over it, because the prophecy of the God of the Hammers is like pretty fucking real, and it's like a #1 priority here. So let's not be so dramatic. And here Loki gives us a recap of the prophecy, as Loki's been searching for any sort of remaining records regarding the story. And with every related find that Loki's found, all the records say the same thing, that the God of Hammers will rise. He will ignite the 10 realms, and he will take the last king of Asgard. And then there will be nothing but the distant sound of a forge, burning, raging, as the God of Hammers reshapes the entire world. And yeah, that sounds pretty bad. Now, before Odin can reveal something to Thor, the group are interrupted with the arrival of both Sif and Throg. And Lady Sif tells Thor that, hey, bro, you gotta come with me like right now, because I gotta show you something. And that something is the aftermath, the destruction of Broxton. And upon seeing the devastation, Thor freaks out. He is wildly angry. And with that, Thor tries his damnedest to call upon his hammer, to call upon Mjolinr. Eventually, Mjolinr shows up, but instead of being summoned to obey Thor, Mjolinr smacks him as hard as it can, almost like a comet crashing down against the earth. And without any sort of regret, Thor's hammer is smacking him across the face back and forth. And before Thor can even get back on his feet, the God of Hammers reveals itself as Thor's divine hammer manifests into a feminine body made up of divine lightning. The God Tempest, the cosmic storm contained within the hammer, is in truth the God of Hammers, prophesied to bring destruction to Asgard. And that, folks, was the end of Thor, issue number 20. And thank you guys for checking out my video, as it truly means the world to me. And as always, I'm your majestic sayer of words, SuperCliff. And if you guys are new to the channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button. And also hit the notification bell so that you'll never miss out on an upload, and that you will always be kept up to date with your favorite top tier comics happening in the comic book world. Now tell me, what are your thoughts and opinions on this issue? Are you guys excited for issue number 21? Let me know down in the comment section below. And until the next video, peace.